are looking at Mahatma Gandhi's legacy, but before we go on to our debate, in the wake of the murder over meat in Dadri in western Uttar Pradesh, there is now politics over the horrific killing of Mohammad Akhlaq, the 50-year-old who was murdered after a rumor that he had eaten beef. The UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav has hit out at Prime Minister Narendra Modi by using his term pink revolution. Akhilesh Yadav also challenged the BJP to declare a total ban on beef exports. The BJP Minister Mahesh Sharma met villagers inside temple premises in Dadri and said that innocent youth are in jail. They will get justice.
It was not an accident. It was a pre-planned murder.
If somebody says it was a planned movement, I am against it.
तो ये बस ये ऊपर वाले जाने जी क्या कहानी मन में आई उनके, क्या हुआ, ये कुछ कहा नहीं जा सकता जी। नहीं, कोई भी नहीं है जी। मतलब जब से गांव बसा है आज तक कोई ऐसा नहीं है।
Well, joining us to talk about this, we've chosen to not have any political guests on our show tonight. We've got Professor Mridula Mukherjee from Jawaharlal Nehru University with us in the studio. Also with us in the studio, senior journalist Ashok Malik. And joining us from Mumbai, Sudhindra Kulkarni, author of a book on Mahatma Gandhi called Music of the Spinning Wheel, writer and commentator. Thanks very much for joining us, all of you. Professor Mukherjee, I want to actually start by asking you, we're talking about the meat ban, the beef ban that has made the headlines across. We've seen the violence in Dadri. We've also been reading a lot today about the comments Mahatma Gandhi had himself made on the consumption of beef and cow slaughter in the country. The two don't reconcile right now.
I mean, I don't think that the kind, I've also been seeing people quoting out of context and trying to justify what's going on with reference to saying that Mahatma Gandhi also wanted cow slaughter to be banned. I think more than anything else, Mahatma Gandhi wanted that Indians should learn how to live together.
Right.
If we go back to his first campaign in India, the two things he talked about was Hindu-Muslim unity and ending of untouchability. If we look at his political practice, he worked with Muslims right through in South Africa. They were his biggest supporters. When he came to India, few of us know that he actually launched the non-cooperation movement as an answer to what the British were doing on the Khilafat question, as the grievances of the Muslims, and actually the whole issue of self-government and Jallianwala Bagh and independence came later. So he was a martyr to the cause of secularism. His last year was spent in the villages of Noakhali, showing us a path which I think we need to go back and look at very, very closely and carefully, that wherever such incidents occur, what you need, you don't need politics, you need humanity. And what he tried to show us was through his own practice, he tried to show that it's the healing touch, it's humanity, it's that religion in the sense of morality that you need over there, and you need courage.
Right. Sudhindra Kulkarni, terms like ahimsa, satyagraha, civil disobedience, we hear them, we read about them in the history books, we apply them in the current context when it seems like a clever thing to do. But are these principles that young India today, in your view, actually subscribes to? Because, we've seen people, my colleagues have spoken to the young men in Dadri who have been perhaps indicted or being charged in this incident. There's a lot of support, there's a lot of unrepentant voices about what happened.
We should not really generalize on the basis of what some young people in Dadri said. Satya and ahimsa, that is truth, non-violence, are eternally relevant. Gandhiji used to say that these are as old as hills. So therefore, whether old or young, all are going to be inspired by the principles of truth and non-violence. today is Gandhi Jayanti. The United Nations has declared Gandhi Jayanti, October 2, as an International Day of Non-Violence.
That's right, yeah.
It is the duty, it is the responsibility of India and Indians to show our commitment to non-violence in every sphere. And therefore, what has happened in Dadri, these kinds of hate crimes, this show of intolerance must be stopped. This is not just one incident.
Yeah.
Intolerance in our society is increasing. We should not see, who is committing crime against whom. It is the responsibility of society. It's also the responsibility of the government of the day.
Yeah.
And therefore, I fully support Vice President Ansari ji's statement that it is the responsibility of the state, the government, to ensure safety and security of every citizen, irrespective of their caste or creed.
Okay, Ashok Malik, Mridula Mukherjee was making the point about how things are getting polarized and politicized as well at 11. We've chosen consciously not to have political guests on our show tonight because every time we bring them together, whether it's an issue like that, the Dadri killing, whether it is the reports on Muzaffarnagar riots, it could be anything. You end up seeing a blame game and not parties coming together. Today's message really is about, as everyone seems to be united on, the issue of tolerance, working together as a community and sending out that message as a country, as citizens of India, to the rest of the world. Why are our political parties not able to rise above it?
To put it very cynically, perhaps the Mahatma was just fortunate that he didn't have to fight elections, and today's politicians, unfortunately, across parties, tend to look at people not as citizens but as voters. And that's an unfortunate and very cynical thing to say, but I'm afraid everyone who you will interview amongst the politicians will look at their particular groups of voters, one or the other. I'm not blaming one or the other. Second, I completely agree with Sudhendra that you can't really generalize from one incident, one horrific incident in Dadri, or the fact that right now, after the horrific incident that has happened, emotions are obviously riding very high in Dadri and perhaps in neighboring districts. On various, it could be Hindu emotions, could be Muslim emotions, could be local people, whatever it is. But, so obviously people will say things today which probably they will regret even 3 days later.
Okay. Mridula Mukherjee, you want to come in on, you want to make a point over here?
Yeah, I was in fact saying that an example from Mahatma Gandhi again, which he showed us, on the day India became independent, 15th of August 1947, he was not in Delhi to join the celebrations, not because he was not happy with Indian independence, as some people like to tell us, but Surawardi, the Chief Minister of Bengal, was very afraid that there might be a bloodbath when the country is divided, because there were still going to be so many Muslims living in Calcutta, and the Hindus may take this opportunity of retaliating for the great Calcutta killings. So he asked Gandhiji to stay back in Calcutta, and Gandhiji said, I will, provided you stay in the house with me. And they both walked the streets of Calcutta together. And he was a Muslim League man. He was they had been politically on opposite sides, and not a single incident of violence occurred. And that's when Mountbatten said Mahatma Gandhi was a one-man boundary force. What this man has shown us, it's not just what he could do. He was always showing us what we could do. So people should be going to Dadri as 1 or 20 men boundary forces or whatever. I wish on this day, to honor Mahatma Gandhi and to honor the International Day of Non-Violence, leaders of our political parties could come together and issue a joint statement where they could condemn the violence in Dadri, in Muzaffarnagar, or any others that we have, and say that they are all together in this. It is not about competitive populism. Also, I would like to say that yes, elections have to be fought, but elections had to be fought earlier also. It's not that elections have started only now. Jawaharlal Nehru fought the first general elections after a bloody partition, a holocaust, a transfer of population to the tune of millions, but he fought the first general election on the issue of the idea of India going to be a secular state. And he won hands down.
So,
so it's not that elections can only be fought on petty,
the basis of vote bank politics. So
and on negative values.
This point that, at the end of the day, we're looking, what Mridula Mukherjee is suggesting is that all parties come together and unite and make a statement where they are standing together in the face of this kind of violence. Is that really a pipe dream for us to even suggest, given the kind of political climate we're in?
Not at all. I think citizens and intellectuals must, and also religious leaders must demand that political parties come together and make an appeal, and not just make an appeal, but make a strenuous effort to protect communal harmony, strengthen communal harmony, and to spread the, the spirit of tolerance, to be sensitive to each other's concerns. I want to give an example again from Mahatma Gandhi. This whole issue of beef eating, cow slaughter. One of the high points of Hindu-Muslim unity during the freedom movement was the Khilafat movement, which Mahatma Gandhi supported. When Mahatma Ji supported a Muslim issue, some Muslim leaders came to him and said, "We are very happy, we are grateful to you that you supported our cause. Please tell us what we can do for you.
Yeah.
We are prepared to make an appeal for cow slaughter."
Okay.
Ban on cow slaughter.
Yeah.
You know what Mahatma Ji said? He said that this is not a bargain for me. I am not doing this because you are doing something for Hindus. I believe in the issue of Khilafat, I am supporting, and it's unconditional. So,
yeah,
it is this kind of understanding mutual concerns which will spread harmony in society. It's the responsibility of political parties, and I would say that it's the responsibility of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister must make an appeal.
Make that appeal. All
that
right.
The growing intolerance must stop.
Must stop.
The divide must stop, and there must be meeting of hearts and minds.
Okay. Ashok, I know you want to respond to that, but before you do, and we'll end it on your comments because we're out of time as well. My colleague from the Hindi channel, Ravish Kumar, was in Dadri, and he's written a blog that's very popular today. And he says that he didn't find a single person who had remorse for what had happened. Not one.
As I said earlier, we are dealing with a situation that has just happened. Obviously, emotions are very fraught on both sides, or on all sides perhaps. I don't want to say both sides because we're all one side in the end. And I do believe people will end up saying today what they'll regret in even 3 or 4 days. Having said that, while the Khilafat movement is a movement that saw Hindus and Muslims coming together, I'm not denying that. Let's not over-romanticize it either, because while no one disputes and no one will go against the idea of Hindu-Muslim unity,
yeah,
perhaps the Khilafat movement was the wrong cause. Historically, if you're looking back at it now, it wasn't the right cause to appeal to for Hindu-Muslim unity.
Yeah,
historians have said that it was, and I do believe Hindu-Muslim relations today are actually better off than they were in the 70s or the 80s, simply because people are also looking ahead as our economy has grown, as aspirations have grown.
Okay, well, we don't know whether that's something that you're looking at in sort of larger urban centers, or people like Mohammad Akhlaq's family who say they actually want to leave their village because they just simply don't
that incident
feel
is absolutely
safe.
horrific,
and that happens. So I think we'll have to just end it on that note tonight, because we're out of time, and we would like to actually also remember Mahatma Gandhi as we close our bulletin on this note, that it's not just it's not just tolerance but also non-violence. Those principles of his, something that we all, our political parties, need to live by. It's got to be a top-down thing as much as it's a bottom-up kind of solution from all of us as well. We leave you with that thought on Left, Right and Centre tonight.